Gymnasts. We see them as creatures of grace and elegance. One would assume that spending an entire lifetime balancing on a beam would give you the strength to always keep your cool, but that's not always the case. Gymnasts from Simone Biles to Yuri Van Gelder have lost it a couple of times on and off the mat. To know about all the times gymnasts went too far, keep watching. First up, we have Simone Biles, Gabby Douglas, and Aly Raisman, America's sweethearts. Simone Biles, Gabby Douglas, and Aly Raisman are known for being the quintessential goats of gymnastics. However, no matter how super cool you can get, flying out to various places for the Olympics, all of us can get a little hot-headed one day or the other. Sports occasionally see weird rivalries between colleagues, especially in the age of social media. But one of the craziest yet occurred on one Friday night, thanks to members of the 2016 Rio Olympics gold medal-winning U.S. women's gymnastics team. Aly Raisman had at that time spoken out about the USA Gymnastics sexual abuse scandal on multiple occasions, criticizing the organization's overall handling of the situation in August and revealing that she was one of the many athletes sexually assaulted by former Dr. Larry Nassar. Raisman tweeted on Friday that how a woman dresses should have no bearing on whether or not others believe claims of sexual abuse, which sparked an unexpected feud with former teammate Gabby Douglas strongly disagreeing and fellow former teammate Simone Biles blasting Douglas for her response. Douglas tweeted and then subsequently deleted that it is a responsibility of a woman to dress modestly. She even went on to say that dressing provocatively will draw the attention of the wrong crowd. We don't know about you, but that sounds a lot like victim blaming. Whether it was intended to blame victims or not, it came across as such, and commenting on someone's dress as part of a discussion of sexual abuse seems like an odd decision. Douglas's take on the situation sparked a lot of debate and criticism, even from Simone Biles herself, who was also a victim of Larry Nassar. It's remarkable to watch former teammates go after each other in such public terms, especially when Biles wrote that the statement had bothered her but did not surprise her. Douglas then went on to tweet that she was misinterpreted and she didn't mean to blame any of the victims. She went on to say that no woman deserves to be looked at in that way by a man. Up next, Svetlana Korkina. Svetlana Vasilyevna Korkina is a Russian artistic gymnast who has retired after representing Russia in 1996, 2000, and 2004 in the Summer Olympics. Korkina earned 7 Olympic medals and 20 World Championship medals during her career. She won medals in every event at the World Artistic Gymnastics Championships during the course of her career. She was also the first gymnast to win 3 all-around titles at the World Championships, and just the second female artistic gymnast to win 3 European all-around titles, following Nadia Comaneci. Korkina is widely considered to be one of the greatest female gymnasts of all time, so one might imagine that the Russian veteran would always be willing to keep a calm composure for every win and every loss. However, I think we all know that's not really the case. In the 2004 Summer Olympics, Svetlana lost the gold position to America's Carly Pattinson. One would have expected the Russian to handle it with grace and move on. Instead, what Korkina did was completely unacceptable for a professional. During the podium pictures, she stuck her tongue out to the audience and into the cameras. She later said in an interview that she would have won the gold if the judges were Greek, and claimed that she was still the Olympic champion. During the closing ceremony, she paraded the Russian flag all around the floor and then placed the flag on the uneven bars. While many will say that it happened in poor taste, a lot of people still remember Korkina nearly 20 years after her retirement and still look up to her as someone to admire. In fact, in the 2019 Winter Olympics, she was the one who set the fire in the opening ceremony, so she still is clearly well liked by both officials and the public. Now we have Hege Sin. We've all lied on our resumes, right? We've all polished up a few skills, made it look like we were the ones who saved the company from bankruptcy, when in fact we were just interns. The need to tell a harmless white lie is sometimes necessary when you want a boost in your career. And hey, who will it hurt? Chinese gymnast Hege Sin probably thought the same when she lied about her age at the start of her career. When she was 16, she told everyone that she was 14, allowing her to compete in a different age bracket altogether. And this benefited Sin massively. Small yet flexible, she could transform herself into something else due to her tiny body and quick moves, and that proved beneficial in the short term. However, However, 4 years later, she became the victim of puberty, and now her physique gets in the way of doing all those twists and turns at the level that she once used to. It's unfortunate that your career is so dependent on your age sometimes that you have to lie and struggle once it falls out of a certain age bracket. Up next, Yao Jinan. Another Chinese superstar, Yao is one of China's top seeds. However, one would assume that after you've gotten so much glitz and glamour from being the best in your country, you would try your best to ensure that you remain in the top spot no matter what, and that your country remains in the top spot no matter what. However, it has been reported in multiple newspapers that one of China's finest had to be bribed by her coaches in order to convince her to do some of the challenging routines in gymnastics. It's hard to understand who was out of line. Was it Yao, who had taken the bribe in the first place rather than just perform and do her best? Or was it her coaches, who had risked her life and forced her to do the difficult routine by bribing her? Or was it society that had pressurized both of them in doing this hateful deed? And then we have Yuri Van Gelder. Bad behavior can be caused due to a lot of factors. Sometimes a lot of us are just having a bad day, while the rest of the time it's caused because of something else entirely. Bad behavior usually leads to a slap on the wrist or a small telling off, but sometimes the cost is higher. The cost for Van Gelder's bad behavior was being expelled from the 2016 Summer Olympics. After being kicked out of the Rio Olympics by the Dutch team for an unapproved night out drinking, Yuri Van Gelder lived true to his reputation as gymnastics bad boy. After reaching the men's rings finals on Saturday, the former world champion, dubbed Lord of the Rings, celebrated by leaving the athletes' village a few hours later. He admitted to having drunk alcohol when he returned. Van Gelder, 33, had gravely broken team standards according to the Dutch Gymnastics Association and the Dutch Olympic Committee, who stated they had no other alternative than to send him on the first plane home, as if he was being dishonorably discharged. In a statement on the KNGU website, chef de mission Moritz Hendricks said it was a tough decision to make, and even though it leaves a bad reputation for Yuri, it was, in the end, inappropriate behavior. He went on to say that the athletes also act as role models for young children, so maintaining an image is very important for them if they want to represent the Netherlands Olympic team anytime in the future. However, this is not the first time that something of this stature has happened before. In 2009, it was found through a test that there was cocaine in Van Gelder's system. This cost him a berth in the Dutch Olympic squad for the 2012 London Olympics, ended his military career, and resulted in a year-long suspension from his sport. Van Gelder's comeback to competition was a shamble after an 11-week stint in a rehab center in Edinburgh, Scotland, with the Gymnastics Union pulling him out of the 2010 World Championships just 4 days before the event for relapsing. There is no doubt that the man is very talented. It is, however, unfortunate to see someone of his stature go out like that again and again. Lastly, we have Badahan Yazici. No matter what you run the risk of competing against, someone who has somewhat of an unfair advantage. Doping is unfortunately very common in sports, even in sports that are considered to be pure, such as gymnastics. New Zealand gymnast Badahan Yazici was suspended for 2 years by the Sports Tribunal after being accused of doping. He was put to test while competing in the men's artistic gymnastics open division at the 2019 New Zealand Gymnastics Championships, and it was there found that Ritalin, a stimulant banned in competition, was in his system. Yazici claimed that he had taken the drug to help with a university essay. However, the board did not find it to be a compelling enough reason and had awarded him the suspension. Well, that's it for this video, folks. Let us know what you think about these instances and which gymnast went too far in the comment section below. Make sure to like and subscribe so that you can stay updated on all the latest news. See you next time.